Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new moon and solar eclipse that is happening for us all on Saturday, the 30th of April. And no matter when you're watching this in the 6 months to come, it is energy that is still with us. And all of this can be really helpful if you are looking to make a fresh start, to start fresh, new beginnings, but beyond just starting fresh and new beginnings, new paradigms. How many of you, just to start, because a lot of people have a weird, pick up weird things about what astrological things mean. And I don't believe that any astrology can ruin your life or take opportunities from you. But I think that these themes are incredibly powerful, especially since the moon itself does have a physical impact upon us as beings on this earth. There's lots of measured effects of the moon on water, the moon on the earth, the moon on our feelings in different ways. And so eclipses are often thought to be these big times of change, everything just blowing up. And that's not the thing. I just don't want anyone to even think about that. I don't want anyone ever living in fear. If you've been here for a while experiencing this feng shui, you know that I am not ever into fear. And so if you are new here, hello, I'm Dana. I am a feng shui master and founder of the School of Intention, a whole method and school of feng shui that's been around for almost 2 decades, based on infinite possibility, creative awakening, and your intention. And so everything in life, I truly believe, has to do with what we create. We're creating our lives every day. We're making things happen. We're taking the steps. And when we talk about this new moon in Taurus, it's really interesting because the eclipse aspect of it, the solar eclipse, the new moon solar eclipse, is a supercharger in such a positive way. Whenever there's an eclipse, you can think of it as extra energy, extra dynamic. The energy stays for 6 months. There's just like an extra effect, but nothing is ever bad. So whenever eclipse season comes along, just like clap and cheer and just be like, yes, it's just like a retrograde. Whenever these things come along, whenever there's a big shift in the cosmos, get excited because we need fresh perspective to grow. We need new things in order to stay vibrant and alive. We need new things that motivate us in order to stay present and grounded and focused. And this Taurus solar eclipse is all about advancing in your life, having more wealth, having more love, having more harmony, having more peace, having more greatness in every way. Like none of this is anything but awesome. And one of the most beautiful messages of all the different patterns happening in the sky is that all of this harmony, love, joy, money, wealth, abundance, all of it flows freely when we are willing to let go of what we once were and not becoming a different person, but shaking off old habits, not looking backwards. How many of you have been looking backwards a lot, especially since these last 2.5 years begun? Like looking backwards. When is it going to go back to the way it was? Let's look backwards to this. We had a lot of time to sit and be alone and contemplate the past, and all this backwards motion is backwards. It's not moving us forward. This is dramatic forward motion. And one of the things that you might experience, you might feel, is a sense of being ready to let go of the things that don't serve you on a whole new level, things that might surprise you, old patterns, old habits, old ways of thinking, even strange things. Like it might seem like you're reverting back to an old habit, but you might have switched something and want to go back. For the last week, I have been craving having real tea in the morning, like with caffeine. For the last maybe week and a half, actually, like the eclipse energy started a while ago. And I was like, I wonder if that's the eclipse. I haven't had caffeine in years. And suddenly it makes me feel amazing just to have one little cup of tea. And I was like, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to lean into this. I could always stop drinking it again, but this is obviously there's a reason, and it's not because I need to wake up. I'm already awake, but I feel for whatever reason, it's what my energy is calling me to. What is your energy calling you to? This is a time of great third eye opening, very expansive in terms of your vision of the future, what you want to create, and how you want to make things happen. So let's start with the start. Taurus, as I said, tons of money, tons of love, tons of abundance, tons of joy, tons of pleasure. Everything that has to do with our material universe, being lush, feeling lush. This can be an incredible time to set out to transform your home and transform it with love. We're going to talk about love a lot. So we're headed into the season of Love Feng Shui. And the free Love Feng Shui video series, which is over an hour of rituals for your home to welcome in more love, is linked below. It hasn't started yet, but when it begins, you will get it immediately if you sign up below. So take a second and sign up if that's something you're interested in, because these videos are like a class in themselves, and it's such a joy to share them with you every year. So I am feeling this love vibe. It's self-love, romantic love, all sorts of expansion in love, starting with letting go of what is not love. It might be a way that you talk to yourself. It might be a way that you allow maybe a friendship or some sort of toxic entanglement to linger. I know that I've had people in my life who haven't treated me well, and I've let it linger, even though it continues to happen again and again and again. And finally, you reach a point where you just go, it's lingering because I'm allowing it to linger. I'm really not looking backwards. This is not obviously going to shift or change. You can try 20 times, and on the 21st time, you just go, no. And you might be reaching a point of no with a habit, a group, a hobby, a thing where you realize it is just not for me. It's not that I'm mad. It's not that I'm better than. It's not anything else. It's just not for me. Or it might just not be healthy. Like it might be something toxic for you. Now, does that mean you have to be angry and remain angry? No. Part of this is forgiveness and letting go, freeing yourself, freeing everyone. One of the most amazing, I think, one of the most amazing affirmations from Catherine Ponder, who is a prosperity teacher and teaches that words, the words you speak aloud, are a form of ancient sound therapy, and they influence the universe and influence our bodies and influence the world. And she's a very OG teacher. She's been doing this way back, I think, into the 50s. I think she started. She's incredible. And I think she's still going strong. And she's a great, some of her work really resonates so deeply. And one of her greatest affirmations that I found to work wonders is, I now loose and let go. I forgive everyone who needs forgiveness from me. I forgive absolutely everyone who needs forgiveness from me. And you just keep, I forgive everyone, however you want to say it. I forgive, I loose you and let you go. I forgive. And when you really do forgive, like you don't want to hold on to that heaviness anymore, it frees you. And it frees them too, which is great, but it frees you. And I know that, again, I talk a lot about the things that we've picked up, like it's the right thing to do is to hold a grudge, or the right thing to do is to never forgive. And it's dramatic. And we're shown stories about how, you must never forgive this and all of this stuff. And a lot of stories, a lot of movies, a lot of books, a lot of things. It's like, I'll never forgive. And it's almost been a point of empowerment to not forgive people. But forgiveness is one of the big ways during this new moon that you can free yourself to experience more love, to experience more love in your present relationships, in the relationships you want to bring into your life, more love for yourself, forgiving absolutely everyone. This is so powerful, and I can't say enough about it. And forgiveness isn't just a one-shot deal. You might need to forgive again and again and again and again and again, but it is so worth it. So one of the things that Catherine Ponder talks about that happens when you forgive is that you make room for more money to come into your life. You make room for more abundance to come into your life because you're, again, letting go of that extra heavy energy. And so Taurus is very grounded. Taurus is very much of the earth, extremely creative. And again, all that money, love, pleasure, great joy stuff. And in that place, when you're feeling grounded, it's very hard to stay grounded and excited and impassioned and full of love when you are carrying the weight of the past everywhere with you. This eclipse might be an opening where you say, I'm ready to go to a support group. I'm ready to go to therapy. I'm ready to handle this problem. Even though it's not part of my daily life, I know I'm carrying it around with me. It might be a big seismic opening to say, I'm ready to take steps for me in ways that I haven't invested in me in a long time. It can also, for your home, be a supercharger. So part of what Feng Shui is all about and what we talk about here is how your home is influencing you all day long, every day, in every way. Your home is a mirror of you. Your home is at its best when it is set up with intention and all this Feng Shui. Your home is actually supporting you in creating your biggest dreams if you put that intention forth in your home. For those of you who want to learn how to do this professionally, the School of Intention Professional Feng Shui Training Program is opening soon, and you can find the details below. Depending on when you watch this, it might be open now for registration. A lot of people have found it's very revolutionary to start setting up space specifically for a person, specifically for you. So it's not about following rules in a book. If you've read Feng Shui articles or rules about how things need to go, that is not what's going to really supercharge your life. What's going to supercharge your life is when you can take those rules and put them on a different level, put them in a lower category than your desires, and really set up spaces that reflect you in the most powerful ways. So let's start by filling your home with more love. The beginning of this is clearing clutter. Eliminate all the stuff that has bad memories. I have 1, 2, 3 objects left, I think. 3 objects left to deal with and get rid of. They're bigger, so I have to figure out how to maneuver all of this. There's one really big one, another one that I just need something else to replace it in the next few days, and one more object. Can you think of any bad memory objects or objects attached to people that you don't want? Even clothing attached to people that you don't want to remember. Can you think of any of that? It can be a great time to say goodbye to that past. I am done. I am done. I am done. I am done. And say, I am just moving forward. One of the beautiful things about releasing stuff is you're releasing energy when you're releasing stuff. Everything that you have, every object, everything, even my computer mouse and the floor beneath me, the walls beside you, all energy. All the energy that you interact with affects you. It affects what you're thinking about. It affects what you are feeling in your body. It affects how strong you feel or how weak you feel. It affects everything. And so when you really cleanse your space, your physical space of things that have bad memories, you're actually cleansing your energy field of a lot of that stuff. A lot of that stuff, that haze, that stuff, so that you can shine and be more magnetic and bring in more of that love and abundance confidently and boldly. This is a confident, bold time. There's a lot of Uranian energy during this eclipse. There's also a lot of really interesting Mars energy during this eclipse, initiating, starting big changes, starting new ways of doing things, moving forward in new directions. And the best way to do that is to let that stuff go. So can any of you think of something in your house that you're ready to get rid of? Do you have something that you're like, it's time for me to finally do that. It's time for me to get rid of that piece of furniture someone gave me. It's time for me to get rid of that rug. It's time for me to get rid of that stuff. I have, like I said, 3 big ones, and those are the only ones left. And so are there some things for you? This is going to be game changing. Letting that stuff go will make a big, huge difference. Now, In addition, cleanse your home. This is a time of nature, of earth. Cleanse your home with the power of nature. So it can be using natural cleaning sprays. It can be opening the windows to let the fresh air flow in. It can be lighting some herbs that you like to burn to cleanse the air, or some natural incense made with herbs and spices and other botanicals, tree bark, things like this. Cleanse your home in powerful ways for you. Again, if you haven't yet seen them, the Love Camp Feng Shui videos, the Love Feng Shui is starting very soon, and you can sign up to be on the waiting list for that, and you'll have a huge cleansing program, huge cleansing rituals, deep, deep cleansing for your bedroom and really for your whole home, which helps, again, to keep the energy higher and lighter, which means that you will stay higher and lighter. And as you stay higher and lighter, everything becomes easier. It's never perfect, and it's not about perfect. It's about feeling more grounded, more centered, and more rooted in your power. And that's what this eclipse really is about at its core, connecting to your energy, connecting to love. So as you're doing your house cleaning, as you're doing your ceremonial dumping of clutter, forgiveness of people, as you're doing all of these things, stay grounded in your heart energy. So the easiest exercise that I've ever done is to just put a hand on your heart, put a hand on your head, and breathe like this. And you can just breathe like this for as long as you can, until you feel this energy sync up where you're no longer in your head. If you're overthinking, this is an amazing thing to do. Great overthinking cure, to take the energy that's here in your head and sync it up with your heart. In the science, the studies of heart math, when you become more connected between your heart and your mind, you are much more relaxed, in a much higher performance state of mind. You're more brilliant, you're more creative, you can access more flow, you feel better. It's amazing for your body, it's amazing for your wellness, it's amazing for your glow, it's amazing for your joy, and it can help you to bring in all this abundance. And it's really syncing up this energy. So everything you're doing, think from that place. The other aspect of this that's really important is keeping your heart open, staying more open-hearted, and doing that in really practical ways, because Taurus is very practical, very grounded, very practical. And so what's a practical way for you to keep your heart open? You might volunteer more. You might find charities to donate to. Maybe each week, even if you have $5 a week to donate, each week you identify one charity that you're going to donate $5 to, or maybe one week you have $5 a day and you're going to go to to charities one day for 7 days and donate that $35. It doesn't have to take a lot. It could be $1 a day for the whole month. It's a flow going out, connecting you, helping you to be a part of a bigger transformation, sharing an energy, making these connections. You can also think about how you can volunteer, how you can be of service, even in the smallest ways. Often we think, oh, it's so little, it's just a little thing. There are people who say that when someone smiled at them, when they were walking down the street, someone stopped and smiled at them and said hello and maybe talked to them for a few minutes, stop them in their tracks from doing something harmful to themselves. There are lots of stories like that. There are lots of stories of people who, through a random act of kindness, had their life turned around, a small act of kindness. This is, again, another story we're told is everything has to be big and heroic and full of grandeur, but it's usually those small, meaningful, connected things just done for the sake of kindness that cause waves of change. So be a part of that more, and your heart will always stay open. On that note, find ways to also be kinder to yourself, to bring that open-hearted energy to you, really unconditionally loving yourself. If you have a habit of criticizing yourself, criticizing what you look like, criticizing how successful you've been, or just being hard on yourself in general, if that can be the habit you declutter, even if you never throw away or clean your house or anything else, if you decide that I am going to move past this, I'm going to declutter this sense of being hard on myself, the floodgates are going to open up to more abundance. It's huge. Some of the most powerful energetic decluttering is getting rid of the stuff that we do to ourselves. And we do it consciously. And we do it because we're told that this is how to be excellent, right? How many of you were told if you aren't hard on yourself, if you slack, if you're not hard on yourself, you're just not going to be excellent. You're not going to be good enough. You're not going to be worthy. But that's all garbage. And in this new paradigm that we're moving into, especially this year is sort of a turning point year. In the next 2 years, moving into more Aquarian energy, all of this stuff of being hard on yourself, coming down on yourself, all of this garbage is just not, it doesn't work anymore. You are your best friend at the best possible scenario is that you are your best friend all the time. You are your champion. Yeah, you might make mistakes, but we all do. But you're still your champion. You're still your best friend. You're not going to torture yourself for it. You're going to be able to really support yourself. And I've heard so many times throughout my life, the way you treat yourself is how you teach others to treat you. The way you treat yourself is how you teach others to treat you. And I used to be like, oh, that's ridiculous. But I was so hard on myself. I was so brutal to myself. And yeah, I had a bunch of brutal, critical, mean people around me in all directions. And I could never do enough right. I could never get it all right. And it was exactly how I was treating myself. Now I don't have a single person in my life like that. And it feels so good. And I no longer feel like I'm fighting an uphill battle to get through the day. This is a big one. And on that note, this is a big time to really launch into the new by not looking backwards anymore, by forgiving the past stuff, by decluttering your life, and then leaning deeply into the new. If this eclipse could bring you anything in the next 6 months, anything that's been on your wish list, what would it be? What would that thing be? Would it be a new business? Would it be hitting a new money goal? Would it be a new relationship? Would it be advancing in your relationship? Would it be a wellness goal? Like the biggest thing that you could possibly hope for you personally, not for other people, but just for you. What would that be? Make sure that is your top priority as you write your new moon wish list. And it might be the thing that's the most challenging. It might be the thing that is the most daring. But this is the time to be bold, to be daring, to be confident. And as you do, clear this stuff away and shake off the ideas of looking backward and connect to the energy of your heart and stay more grounded and present and set up a space around you that is a sanctuary. You will be supported in so many ways. Shake up some things that have been the same. If your house has looked the same for a really long time, even if you can't buy new furniture or new art, hang it in new ways, move it in new ways, find new ways, shift things in little bits. Sometimes the smallest shifts will give you a whole new space. So do this, lean into this. It's going to make a big difference. What you see, if you see the same thing day in and day out, it becomes monotonous, it becomes old, it becomes the same, and you're going to really open up to the new, to a new view. I'm doing major changes you're going to see coming. I'll be back to making YouTube videos this week, like not live, but the regular videos. And I will be documenting one of the big changes that I'm making in my house, but there are a bunch of them happening because it was time for a new view. So every few days, I'm making one shift and another, and I have a whole plan. Make a plan to make these things happen. It's going to make a big difference. If you even just shift the art on the walls so you're seeing something new, it's a new pattern. It's something new. It's kind of like How many of you eat the same exact thing every single day? I bet you don't. You might have the same lunch or the same breakfast, but not many people eat the same food all day long. You get really burned out. You might be into something and eat it a lot every day, and then you're like, no more. But in our homes, things get set up and then they can stay like that for 10 years and they never change. And when they don't change, our reflection doesn't change. So even if we're growing, we're not fitting in with what's around us. This sense of flow in your space as you change it, as you change, is going to be so refreshing and revitalizing for you. I talked to a friend that I hadn't talked to since the beginning of COVID, since the beginning of this whole time, probably like a few months into it. And she said, it's always been, but now for sure. And I've talked to her several times actually at that point when we first started. And it was every few months. You're open, you have a new lamp, you have a new thing, you have new art, you have new stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm about to open a new rug. Like there's always something, because I just felt so strongly that in order to keep growing, things need to shift, changing things around. What can you do for yourself that can do that? Again, you don't need to buy a thing. Use what you have, shift things around, even change the way your cabinets are organized, change the way your table is set up with a new centerpiece or something else, move around plants, things that change you. They help you to burn and catalyze change in a big way, like kick it off. And so shift things and make a wish list and put that most important goal, that thing that you absolutely want to see happen in the next 6 months, at the top of your list. And this new moon list is a supercharged planting of intentions. Whenever there's a solar eclipse, it's like planting something in the best biodynamic soil with all the best nutrients, with the best temperature, it's the ideal environment cosmically. It always is, but the symbolism of this is so profound. So you've got this ideal environment to plant these seeds, make them so amazing. You don't want to plant the seeds of the plants you don't want. If you have the best plot of land and it's a specific space, so you don't have acres and acres, you've got this plot of land and you've got all these seeds. Are you going to plant the seeds of the fruits and vegetables and berries that you hate or that you kind of like? Or are you going to plant the seeds of the fruits and vegetables and berries that you have always wanted to have, that you can't even find in the grocery store, that you only can have in people's gardens? I bet you're going to plant those special seeds. I bet you're going to go through and pick out the seeds you are most excited about. The yellow watermelons, the really incredible, beautiful heirloom tomatoes that you can only get at a certain farmer's market, or maybe you've only had once in your life. You're going to look for the seeds that are going to be the most juicy and fulfilling. But yet when we look at our goals, we go, that's not realistic. I can't put that there. I don't know where to begin with that. I'm not gonna, well, I'll just settle for that. If I do what I really want, it's gonna make so-and-so upset and blah, 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 blah. No, what you want, put it on paper. What you want, especially that number one priority and some big things that you want to create. A lot of times we say that you want to manifest, right? But manifestation is creating things. It's not just like vibrating at the level and then it appears. It's lovely when that stuff happens, but it's really about what you want to create, what you want to be a part of, what you want to pour your energy into. And what are those things? Just like, what are those choice seeds that you grow in your garden that you can't get anywhere else? Put those things on your list and your list will already be supercharged. Keep your list somewhere where you can reference it. Come back to it throughout the month and see how you're doing. Make a plan to bring this to action. This is the time to not just wish it, but to do it. So on that note, there's beautiful, beautiful energy. Everything is literally ultra positive. the whole entire month is ultra positive ahead. There's more eclipses. There's another one in the middle of the month. There's so much more coming, all sorts of planetary shifts, and they're always awesome. The most important thing of all of this is to stay grounded in that love and keep your heart open. All the best things will come to you. And on that note, if you have questions, comments, leave them below. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please like, share, subscribe, all the things. It really helps the channel. And I am going to be making lots and lots of new videos ahead. And if you have suggestions for videos, always feel free to share them with me. Again, the Feng Shui School is going to be opening up again soon, and you can find all the details below if you want to become a Feng Shui pro trained in this completely unique, one-of-a-kind, totally empowering method of Feng Shui, unlike anything else in the world. And the free Love Feng Shui videos are below for you. I love you guys. Happy new moon weekend. Happy eclipse weekend. I hope this eclipse season eclipses the best things into your life. And I'll be back soon with more videos. Bye, everyone.